You are listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair on RLM Radio.
The girl of your dreams has got to be in some bar.
Sorry, boys and girls, but this is X-rated. So if you're under 18...
Get out, goddammit!
Get the point? Good.
And now?
Bend over.
Y'all ready for this?
I can't wait anymore.
I like to watch.
Whatever you desire. I know you'll like it.
We do it all night long.
And now, your host, Grammy.
Yeah, it's me, and wowzer. Oh, I had a day. Yes, I did. I mean, it really wasn't too bad until the end, but you know how that old saying goes, one aw shit will erase 100 attaboys, or 99 attaboys, however you want to look at it. But today I had quite a few attaboys, and then I had one massive aw shit that really kind of chapped my hide, so to speak. Y'all are listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair here on RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 3. Also on the RLM Radio.xyz site, the RLM TuneIn radio station, the RLM Internet radio station, the RLM Spreaker channel, and all kind of other places that it'll be later. But for right now, before I say hey there, hi there, ho there to anybody, I gotta get this out of my system. Got dandruff, some of it itches. There are people out there that just really deserve to be drop kicked through the goalposts of life. And I had to deal with some right before time for me to leave work today. So it's like, oh, you bastards. In any case, there is another dealership in this state that has someone that, quote unquote, is a good customer of theirs, and they wanted us to bend over backwards and go out of our way to do something for them. In other words, they wanted us to take it in the shorts so that their customer would be happy. And we said, sorry, can't do that. And basically the reason we said sorry, can't do that, is because I happen to know that the repairs were not something that should be covered under warranty because they were not due to a manufacturer's defect. And yet, and we've been dealing with them off and on, someone would call at least once a day and go, why aren't you doing this? Well, because it's not a manufacturer's defect and it's out of warranty. That's why. And today we got 4 phone calls. And the last one was from the owner of the place where I work, who he said, you will do this. And I was like, do not tell me to reward someone else's bad behavior. Yeah, but that's what he told me to do. He didn't directly tell me. He made someone else tell me to do it. And I looked at that person and I said, do you realize that we are rewarding bad behavior? Do you realize that we are teaching people that they will be okay if they lie? I don't like doing that shit. And it kind of sort of crankied me. And everybody that works with me knows that I was not a happy camper when I left work today. And I'm not going to be a happy camper on Monday either when I have to finish up that little process. And we get to take it in the shorts so that another dealership can make their good customer happy. It's the big guy pushing around the little guy, and then you got some jackass that goes, well, there might be something in it for me. Oh yeah, sure. You take it in the shorts about 20 times, but you might actually gain one time out of those 20. But oh yeah, there might be something in it for you. Sure, there's something in it for you. And meanwhile, those of us that are actually doing the work, we're the ones that get growled at because we are not reaching that bottom line you set for us. Why? Because, you ass munch, you just told us to take it in the shorts. I'm not changing my name to Ben Dover. I am not. And I will let the owner know in no uncertain terms that I am not pleased by this. And if they call and ask and talk to me, these individuals that want us to bend over for them, I will let them know. My name is not Ben Dover. So I may be on the unemployment line. You never know. But man, oh man, that is bullshit. That is bullshit. Wow. Okay. Got it kind of sort of out of my system. Now I can say hey there, hi there, ho there to everybody. I have some lovely links pulled up that I stuffed in my pocket earlier this week prior to this bullshit happening. So hopefully they will help me evacuate the evil spirits from my building. Yeah. I'm not going to be a happy camper. not at work, at least. Damn it all. That, not cool. Oh, well. Over here on Twitter. Hey there, Twitter. Thank you, Barman from RLM and from Freedom's Network for tweeting me. Truly do appreciate it. Picked up another stalker while I was away. Damn it all. I really got to learn to cut those corners just a little bit sharper. And actually, the other stalker that I picked up, wow, honey, I don't know that I'm going to necessarily keep following you because, talk about, you're more of a Debbie Downer than I'm feeling right now. Ugh. Don't know that I really need any more of that in my world. So, but in any case, thank you for stalking me, at least for a little while. I'll probably lose you. I'm real good at that. Oh, wow. Okay. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and close Twitter now because, yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole hell of a lot on there that just trips my twigger. Over here in the corner pocket. Hey there, everybody. How you doing? Thank you for letting me befriend that duck. I am now up to 141 that I've befriended. I've killed a few, but that's because they didn't want a hug. Damn it. Don't want to give me a hug? Blammo. And thank you, Cyborg Noodle, for putting that on there. I truly appreciate it, sweetheart. Oh, and Nelson Dubois. That is the mom voice. It's not real convincing anymore because I don't have teenagers at home to really practice up with it. But hey, there you go. Hi there, guys. Everybody that's listening in over here on Cyborg Corner Pocket. Love y'all. Over here on Freedom's Network. I see Grammy is over here. Thank you, Grammy, for sharing me. I truly do appreciate it. I also see Bob Renner is over here. Hey there, sweetheart. How you doing? And I see that Bobby has been checking in occasionally. Usually he checks in after this old lady goes to bed. Damn it, Bobby. It's been a long time since you and I have chitty-chatted. We need to have chit-chat. I need to find out how you're progressing with your place out there in the Mile High country. I also see that Mary B was on here for a while, and so was Cowboy Tech and Late In. So, hey, got some traffic going on over here. And, well, the awesome Grimner is over here as well. So, and let's see, over here on Fakeybook, I know I got the lovely Mary B over here. And I also shared a way cool table that I shared in the RLM chat as well. Yum. A 15-year-old did that. Now, I have brothers that did projects that were pretty freaking awesome as well in woodworking class. Out here in the boonies, they don't offer that anymore. And I think it's a bunch of shit. I think people need to know how to work with power tools safely, properly, how to construct things. But apparently schools don't... don't get into... I'll try not to, Sock. Wow, you get all Twitter-pated when someone gets a little frisky and rough with you, huh? Alrighty, learn something new every day. Oh, Oh, well. I also see the lovely Weta is over here on Fakey Book. Hey there, lady. How you doing? She is an amazing lady, and she does work with her hands. She does all kind of fun, creative things, either whether she's playing in the dirt or working with power tools. That lady knows her stuff. And she has a personality, and she's good looking too, and she's single, gentlemen. She's also in the great state of Missouri. So I don't know that she really wants me putting that out there, but I didn't tell you where in the great state of Missouri. So there you go. Okay. Unemployment. Well, you know what, sweetheart? It is payroll taxes, and I've been paying into that shit for quite a while. And I don't know that I would necessarily be on the unemployment line for long, because there's lots of places I can go to work because I am not too proud to go and clean motel rooms if I need to. But I don't know that I'm going to have to worry about that too awful much. So, yeah, unemployment line. Well, if it happens, it happens. I'm not going to worry about it. I will speak my mind, though. Y'all know that. Okay, let's see here. What are you guys talking about? Okay, who are you talking about there, Miss Chloe, that in the NBC interview? I must have missed something there. Apparently, that was prior to me getting logged in over here from work. So, oh well. Oh well. I have no idea who you guys are talking about. Okay. Did I say hey to everybody there? Okay, so now I need to just get to the RLM, which is where you need to be if you want to give me static. You checking my shorts for boot? How'd you know I had shorts on, Sock? Are you peeking again? I had to... Hi. I had to put some shorts on because it's just a little bit warm out here. Just a little bit warm. I think it was like 82 degrees and the real feel is 90. Go figure. Okay, so over here in the RLM, right up top, I see Barman, who is the most splendiferous bot in the whole wide world. My opinion, and possibly shared by quite a few others. I also see Cowboy Tech is in the chat. Hey there, Cowboy Tech. I hope you're hearing pleasant voices. And looky there, Grimner is here, and Grimmy's going to be flying solo tonight. It's going to be balls to the wall, which sounds extremely painful to this old broad, but yeah. Oh, Chelsea Manning? Oh, wow. Okay. Paytation? Do I really have to paytation? I'm too poor to paytation. Maybe I just plain don't want to paytation. Okay, Chelsea. I haven't seen any pictures of Chelsea Manning because it's like I really don't care. Is that shitty of me? I don't know, and I don't care. Oh, it's 84 degrees where Rob's at. Cool. I got a lovely south breeze out here. I say breezed. Yeah, that's a really nice way of putting it. Okay, back to saying hey. Kate is in the room. Hi there, Kate. How you doing, sweetie? Hope everything's going well for you down in the great state of Texas. It's very warm where Rob's at. I hope it's comfortable where you're at. I also see Asmo is in the chat. Hey there, Asmo. And the lovely Beth Z is here as well. And looky there, Chelsea Denis is here. No O going on today. Bummer, dude. And looky there, Chloe. Hi, Chloe. Okay. She looks and appears good. Okay. I have a hard time referring to whatever floats your boat, I guess. So long as no one else gets hurt. Whatever floats your boat. Frumpy is here. Hey there, Frumpy. How you? And I actually am kind of frumpy right now. Because I got my frumpy after work, kick back, max relax clothes going. Sorry, Grim. Texas can't always be hotter than you. Oh, dang. Miss Kate is really toasty. Holy smokes. And how warm is... Dang. Okay. Now I'm going to have to see how warm... Y'all are doing this shit. And see, I gotta follow the leader. Yeah. Take me to your leader. Don't have one. Well, it's me. See? Got y'all beat. Booyah. Damn, it went up. Son of a gun. Of course, it's been a couple hours since I checked it. Okay. Back to saying hey. Where was I? I'm here. Hey, that's where I was. IB Don C is also in the house. Hey there, Don. How you doing? I also see Java Doctor 2, as well as JJ's 999 JJ's. And P Bunyan is in the house. Hey there, P Bunyan. Timber. And there's Rob Works, and I saw Rob Works fire up that bubbler earlier. I think just prior to me leaving work is when I saw Rob Works fire up the bubbler. Let me see. I'll scroll up there and see if he done it again. Nope. But Chloe was rolling one. Okay. Who else is here? Trust no one is in the house. Well, sweetie, are you trusting your Bitcoinage yet? How you doing with that shit? Yes, Chloe, I would have to agree. 78 degrees is just perfect. That is a very appropriate temperature, I think. Let's see. Woodman, hey, Woody, party. How you doing, hun? And Phantom is here. Once again, Phantom, thank you ever so much. I truly do love that intro that you did for me. Yay, Rob Works. 10 points for Rob Works because he just fired up the bubbler and passed it around again. Booyah, you the man. You the goddamn man. BTC Bob is in the house, first of the Bob triplets, as well as Colfax 101, which is that street out there in Denver where you can get just about anything. Just about. And I'd imagine if the price was right, you could get anything. Whee! Hi, Dimma. How you doing? Dimma's usually my competition for befriending ducks over there on that corner pocket. So, you know, I have to get the hugs in first. Damn it, 'cause Dimma's quick. I also see Free Enslaved is here. Hey there, Free. How you doing, honey? And Jehovah 1 is here. Thank you, Jehovah, 'cause we are forecasted to have dry weather for at least the next week. Thank you. I don't know that I necessarily like the temps that go along with it, but I will deal with it. Oh, and by the way, full moon tonight. Don't forget to get your howler on. Ow! I am going to have to sit outside in a lawn chair after I put some Do Not Bite Me bug stuff on and just check out the moon and look at the stars. Maybe have an adult beverage. Hopefully not have to throw the ball entirely too much for the dogs. I will have to do that later this evening. Miri B. Oh, 14 Celsius? Well, that's not too horrible bad, hun. With a 79% humidity. Sticky. Okay, where was I at? Oh, Juana Taco. Oh, that does sound yummy, hun. That really does. Damn. And I have leftovers in the fridge. I'll have to see what I can do with them leftovers. But Juana Taco, yeah. I may have to do tacos tomorrow night. Sounds like a plan. I also see Kozu is in the house. Hey there, Kozu. How you doing, hun? As well as the lovely Miri B from Down Under. Yes, who's 14 Celsius right now. And Monopoly. I love to play that game. I rarely win at that game, but I love to play that game because I have all kind of... yeah, I think tonight is called the Strawberry Moon. Actually, I saw that posted the other day. That it's a strawberry moon. I think they're doing that shit just to get everybody distracted. You know, let's give it a different flavor every month, shall we? I don't remember having all of these different names for the moon. It was just a full moon when I was a kid. But oh well. It is kind of, it's a mini moon. It's the smallest moon. Ah. And I've had some pretty big strawberries, so. Okay, what's that? No frost this morning. You had rain last night. Cool. Awesome, Mary B. That's just too cool. Okay, North Force is here, and North Force is doing some serious sucking out here because, yeah, that breeze is out of the south. Thanks for sending all that hot air up here, Rob. I'm going to blame you. Although Kate is warmer. Okay, Pon Sauce is here. How you doing, sweetheart? I know you're probably Bob, but I gotta say hey to you anyway. And the lovely Rain. Hi, Rain. I love you in the chat, but I'm really glad that you're gonna stay away weather-wise, at least for a few days. I also see Sock Puppet. You know, I have sock monkeys. I have 3 of them, actually. And my grandchildren, every time they come, they fight over them because I have 2 of them that have little green balls and 1 that does not. Go figure. What? That's no moon? No, it's not, Barman. That's that's something else. Okay. Where am I at? Oh, Stats Bob and Tip Bob, the last 2 of the Bob triplets. What, Chloe? You duct taping Barman? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't know that I want to do that. Okay, and in any case, you round out the crew. The one, the only, the number uno on the bottom in line is Bill E _ So that's everybody that's logged in over in the RLM. It's coming back. Oh, okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Okay. I am going to go over and I'm going to pull up my pocket because I really need to, need to be more pleasant, I think. Yeah, I do. And, where do I want to go? Where, oh, where are you eating that? God, dandruff. How about we go with this one? Because it looked like it was something that was rather amusing, if nothing else. Which was why I shoved it in my pocket earlier today. It's from ClashDaily.com. And the title is Leadership Crisis. Can we stop making foolish people famous? Really? That's a serious question. I want to know, can we stop doing that? Because, man, although it is fun to have a guffaw or a chuckle at their expense, I'm really getting tired of hearing about Trumples or what's-her-face, Kathy Griffin, or the Kardashians, or, geez, oh, Pete, it's like, cripes, every time you turn around, there's a new moron stepping into the spotlight going, pay attention to me. Really? Oh, well. I don't know what you think, but I continue to be amazed at the people who make it into leadership roles in America. Is it any wonder that we are such a mess? No, I don't wonder. I tend to wander because it's a lot safer if I just wander off. All you have to do is turn on your boob tube and you will see what I mean. The tempo of our nation is no longer being set by leaders, but rather by entertainers. And they're really not very entertaining either. There's only so many times you can sit there and watch the monkeys throw shit at the glass and laugh. After a while, it's like, seriously? Can you just turn the monkeys loose, just let them go back home, and then that way they'll quit throwing shit at the glass? Because maybe they're throwing shit at the glass because they're trying to let you know, I don't belong in this glass enclosure. You ever thought about that? Yeah. Our children are taught to seek out celebrity. A recognizable face carries more influence than unknown person or character. Well, yeah, maybe, and then maybe not. You never know. So let's face it, we have become a nation of followers, and as Jesus warned us, Jesus, thank you, baby Jesus, that will not end well. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. So Jesus declared. We are in the ditch, all right, and we've gone off-road because of who we have chosen to follow. The blind guides is what Jesus called them, which is another description of leadership. I ain't telling you what all I got in my pockets, Frumpy. Although I'm sure there's probably some lint in there. But I don't think there's any toe jam, if that makes you feel any better. In any case, it is not what we want to end up, or it's not that we want to end up shipwrecked, but, well, you know, when someone keeps drilling holes while they give you a bucket that's full of holes to bail it out, I'm thinking time to sink or swim. And I just happen to know how to swim and tread water, so hey. But that is the result of following leaders who can't see beyond the bow of the boat. Sight and vision are not the same thing, and neither are knowledge and wisdom. And that is true. I know an awful lot of very, very book-smart people that I would not follow to the end of the sidewalk, and I don't have a very long sidewalk. Sight is the outworking of the function of the eye, and it's what happens when the eye perceives light and processes it into an image. Actually, the brain using the eye, but Vision is more important than sight, because vision is the process by which the brain is able to assimilate what the natural eye sees and convert it into an anticipation or prediction of what might occur as a result of what one sees. Knowledge and wisdom are the twin sisters of sight and vision. Knowledge is nothing more than accumulation of information gathered through one's senses or through independent study. Wisdom is the application of knowledge resulting from that study. I know an awful lot of wise people that don't have very much book learning, or I consider them quite wise. So even the most unlearned of men can look at a thing and know if it is functioning properly. See, I just said that. Fixing a machine that is not working properly requires the application of knowledge. Vision is figuring out how to prevent the instrument from malfunctioning again, rather than just fixing until it breaks again. So because the teachings of our public schools and our mainstream churches have become so shallow that the average American has the ability to see, but possesses very little ability to process the information with even a hint of wisdom. And the reason for that is they do not want you thinking, they don't want you deducting, they don't want independent thought. They want you to regurgitate. In other words, they feed you garbage and they want you to puke it back up again. Regurgitate's just a nicer way of saying it. It's got more syllables, and if you ask George Carlin, he will tell you the more syllables it is, the more politically correct it will be, and the less it refers to the actual act. to me, or the me generation, wants results, and they want them now. Kind of like Veruca Salt. I want it now. Because they have no long-term vision. They're unaware that temporary comfort is the enemy of long-term success. Our leadership has played upon this national weakness, and we suddenly find ourselves careening into a ditch. You know, it's like that the most dangerous component of any motorized vehicle is the nut holding the wheel. Well, you can have a nut holding the wheel, but if the wheel isn't actually attached to the steering mechanism, they can sit there in that vehicle and steer that wheel all they want to, but the vehicle's still going to go wherever it damn well pleases because they're a nut holding the wheel, but that wheel is not attached with a nut to what really matters. And that's what's going on right now. So, you know, if you like watching LeBron James play basketball, but you have no desire to find out who he's supporting in a presidential race, if he has some advice on how to shoot foul shots, then I'd be all ears. But his basketball talent does not transfer into wisdom in other areas. So why would anyone be influenced by his political views? You know, it's kind of like Hollywood and all of those people saying, you should vote for this person. And how many of them said, if so-and-so makes it into office, I'm leaving? I haven't seen any moving vans. You know, you would think that would be on the news, and they do have the news on at work. You would think that would make it all over the interwebs. You know, if these people actually did pack up and leave, to where I would say don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, but hey, you know, in this great big world with the internet, modern technology, it makes no difference where your body is located. You can still get it out all over the world. But I really could give two shits less what they think. And then there are times when they happen to say something that I agree with. And then I go, okay, cool, they agree with me. But other than that, it's like it's just another individual that happened to agree with me. Just like there could be another individual that happened to disagree with me. And if we had a little chitty chat about it, and we both decided to agree to disagree on a mature level, that would be cool. I would be good with that. Unfortunately, that mature level just hasn't made it to the adult level. Not anymore, it doesn't. So can anyone tell me what makes Anderson Cooper or Rachel Madcow, no, really, I mean Rachel Madcow, an expert on news? You know what an expert is, don't you? It's a former drip under pressure. Expert. Whatever. So, have you ever stopped and asked yourself how they even got to occupy those seats inside your TV screen? Well, they don't occupy inside my TV screen because I don't watch them. So as an example, why would you take advice from anyone who doesn't understand that the purpose of sex is procreation? Okay, that's one, but sometimes you just have to keep practicing and practicing and practicing until you get to that point where you're procreating. It takes a lot of practice. Practice. So, if they can't figure out basic science, why would you care what they say about the more complicated issues of life? Well, you know, science these days is like, Hey, welcome back, Grammy. So, what was that? I'm checking the... Damn, Frumpy, he's pinging quick. I would ping myself, but I don't know if I want to do that. That might be kinky. I might like doing that. Moving along. Back to the story. In the political world, it is no different. How in the world did we ever end up with the likes of Nancy Botox Biatch Pelosi, Al Frankenstein Franken, John McBain, and Lindsey Graham passing as our national leaders? Now, passing works really well in that sentence because it's like passing gas, which is pretty much what they are. They're hot air that has an obnoxious aroma to it every time they expel hot air. Unfortunately, they're not silent but deadly. They are quite loud with their spewage, but wow, they are definitely passing. Other than knowledge of how politics work, what wisdom is it that they bring to the American people? Well, is that a rhetorical question? Because I'm pretty much thinking none. We have a leadership crisis in America. Most of us cannot distinguish between leadership and celebrity. Celebrity alone does not qualify one for leadership. Whoopi Goldberg is famous, but would any sane person want her offering advice to his or her child? Ooh, let me think about... No. Didn't even have to finish that sentence. Have you noticed recently what is passing as education in America? Yeah, I have. Rather than teaching our children how to apply the knowledge that they have gained, we've programmed them how to emote, how to act only upon how they feel. You see the results on the of that nightly on your TV screen, which no, I don't, because, well, I don't have cable, I don't have satellite. I have internet, and I see a little bit of that, and that's like 3 seconds, and that's like, okay, they're still doing it, moving along. We live in a crazy, crazy world, and it's getting crazier by the moment. Our challenge is to restore wisdom to the educational process, which basically, I think step one of that is eliminate the Bureau of Education, or whatever the hell. Get the government out of it. Start teaching yourself your kids what matters, what they will need to know, where you live. And if they plan on moving elsewhere, then help them develop the tools, because teaching them the tools really doesn't work. But helping them develop those tools, which is basically pointing them and say, okay, if it were me, I would do this. But there's a breadcrumb. Find your own trail. If you have any questions, I'm here. But I ain't going to steer. You kids got to learn how to develop their own nose for what they're interested in and what they feel they need to know. That is education. When someone actually learns something hands-on and learns by doing their own research, by doing their own hands-on work, that's an education. Especially if it's something that will be beneficial for them. You know, like learning how to feed themselves, how to clothe themselves, how to get along with others in a social environment. There's entirely too many that do not know how to do that anymore. It's more of the, I'm all about inclusivity so long as you are doing your inclusivity the way I define inclusivity. And if you do not behave the way I define it, then you're just not being very inclusive, and you're an asshole, and you're a racist, and you're a somethingist, and yeah, I'm going to shout you down. No, that is not learning how to behave properly in a social environment. That is called behaving like a 3-year-old, having a temper tantrum. That needs to stop. So, tonight when you sit down for dinner, If you even do, ask your children whom they admire. Then ask them why they admire that person. It's an excellent little thing for those of you with kids. If their answer will demonstrate how we ended up in the ditch that we're in. It is time for parents to re-engage with their children. And it's imperative that we teach them what to, rather than who to admire. And people that do as they say and say as they do, those are the ones that you need to pay attention to. Of course, you also need to pay attention to those that don't, so that you know how to recognize that. But, yeah. And it finishes up with, a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. We have done it to ourselves. And it's time to stop teaching our children to follow the spiritually blind. Which, yes, it is time. Now, I do have to say one thing that I did notice earlier today. Getting rid of the aw shitter and going with an attaboy. Had a customer in today that he has a bank account. Mainly because he has to for certain transactions. But he does not write checks. He does not trust banks. He does not borrow money. He does not have a credit card. He despises banks. He considers banks the enemy. And he was a very wonderful individual to speak with. He was in purchasing a vehicle. And he paid cash. And we had a really wonderful discussion about how banks do not deal in money. Banks deal in debt. And his daughter actually asked me if I would start dating him. And I was like, no. Thank you, hon. I'll have a nice conversation with him, but no, thank you. But we did. We had a wonderful conversation. And, you know, he was not the only one today. And that's a fun thing about me having a job where I deal with the general public. I really do get to see an attitude is changing. And, you know, I get to see it from people all across the country because the type of job that I have. People come in from all across the country. And they have a problem that needs to be tended to most often than not. And we help them out. They are usually quite pleased. Little bit poorer sometimes, but quite pleased when we send them on their way. A lot of times we get really nice postcards back from them thanking us. They had a wonderful, uneventful trip getting home or getting to wherever they were going, which I think is really cool, you know, when we get those. But there really are an awful lot more people out there that get it than what the corporate lame-ass propaganda system would like us to believe. So please don't get discouraged. I know a lot of this shit that's out there is very disheartening, but there really are an awful lot of people out there that get it. There really are a lot of people out there that would just as soon do away with the whole monetary system. That would just as soon do away with the whole political system. They're tired of the nonsense. They just want to be able to go about their life dealing with people in a manner to where nobody comes out on the short end of the stick and just doing their thing. And you know what? That's a cool way to be. And I think that's how things are going to change. Is people are just going to quit paying attention to the leeches that be. Because that's all they are. They are no longer, they're no longer powers that be. They're leeches that be. That's the way I see them. So I'll go ahead and share this over on the RLM as well. I really like that. I mean, it's kind of a different little, but yeah, we need to stop putting, and we need to stop putting up with the foolishness that gets put in our faces. And the best way to do that is to ignore it, because when the numbers go down, when you stop financially supporting that nonsense, it will go away. And then when you get to the point where you no longer have to deal with the financial at all, maybe that will go away too. That's why I've been sharing that Ubuntu movement thing with a lot of people lately. And it really is, it's not something that's going to happen quickly. And you are going to have to do a transitionary phase. But we really do need to get away from the monetary system. We really, really do. Because monetary system just leads to corruption. Basically because it's based in corruption. It's based in, I have this. And this has value. And the only way that you can get that is to use my thing that I say has value. Really? Huh. What if I just consider my real tangible thing that I have right here as value, and I go up to that person and I say, you want my real tangible thing that has value, and I want your real tangible thing that has value, and we both want to trade, so let's cut out this moron over here that's going, this funny colored piece of paper is easier to deal with than us doing one-on-one. You know, and once you get rid of that, then you can actually even phase out that whole, it's a long process, but I think we could do it. First, you got to do the mind shift. Got to change your mindset. Because, you know, everything in this world has value of one way or another. So, let me check. I got some notifications here. Hi, Leslie. I see you. And Pedro. Okay, I'm going to get over here to, I saw this on Twitter. It's World Truth TV, a Nikola Tesla interview that's been hidden for 116 years. Now, I don't know if this is like, because I just clicked on it and I went, oh, how cool. Oh, this looks interesting. So, in 1899, Tesla gave this interview, which has rarely ever been published for over 100 years. In it, Tesla pulls no punches and reveals the great conspiracy of science that was well underway. The suppress the ether and the introduce a new fake science to conceal it, as well as suppress the work of Tesla himself. So once in 1899, Nikola Tesla had an interview with a certain journalist, John Smith, and when Tesla said, everything is the light, in one of its rays is the fate of nations, and each nation has its own ray in that great light source, which we see as the sun. And in this interview, this great inventor and seer of modern time unravels a new vision of humanity, which we, the light warriors of the first and the last hour, have created a century later. I have no idea who these light warriors are, but I guess I'll find out. It's the PAT. So part of the interview is dedicated to Tesla's critics on Einstein's theory of relativity, or critiques, on Einstein's theory of relativity that discards the ether as energy. And I've proved in a new theory of the universal law why Einstein's theory of relativity is entirely wrong, and why there is no vacuum or void, and that everything is energy, which, yes, that I would agree with. Thus, I confirm Tesla's ideas as expressed in the interview. That was according to George May. Mr. Tesla gained the glory of man who got involved in the cosmic process. So, The question that was directed towards him is, "Who are you, Mr. Tesla?" And Tesla's answer was, "It is the right question, Mr. Smith, and I will try to give you the right answer to it." Ah. So the journalist asks him, "Some say that you're from the country of Croatia, from the area called Lika, where together the people are growing trees, rocks, and starry skies." Really? You're growing rocks? Cool. "They say that your home village is named after the mountain flowers and that the house where you were born is next to the forest and the church." To which Tesla confirmed that. Then there was a statement. I was thinking it would be more interesting than this. It's not a really good read out loud kind of thing, is it? The journalist then states, "Futurists say that 20 and 21st century was born in the head of Nikola Tesla. They celebrate, conversely, magnetic field and sing hymns to induction engine. Their creator was called the hunter, who caught the light in this net from the depths of the earth, and the warrior who captured fire from heaven." So apparently there is created a weapon that causes earthquake vibrations. And there are discovered black cosmic rays. 5 races will pray to him in the temple of the future. Really? What are you talking about here? I'm thinking this is a weird interview. So I'm just going to go ahead and just share the link, because it really doesn't look like something that I can just play, because, yeah, it doesn't really translate well when I'm trying to read it. Give Comey a freaking medal? Really? No thanks. What? Oh, an AC/DC. Yes, soul strippers. There's an awful lot of soul strippers out there too. Good share there, Sock. I'm just going to go ahead and share that so y'all can check it out at your own pace, because that didn't turn... Wow, I always have to have one of those, don't I? One of them that just flat out does not... Yeah. Okay. How about this one? How about 6 habits of highly grateful people? Yeah, that sounds like somewhere I want to go. I'm bouncing all over the place today. So, how can you tell if someone is grateful? I'm terrible at gratitude. Are you really? Who wrote this? Jeremy Adam Smith wrote this in September of 2016. So how bad am I? I am so bad at gratitude that most days I don't notice the sunlight on the leaves of the Berkeley oaks as I ride my bike down the street. A lot of people don't notice that, hun. I forget to be thankful for the guy who hand brews the delicious cup of coffee I drink midway through every weekday morning. Dude, seriously, you should thank that guy. I don't even know the dude's name. Oh, man, now that's... Okay. Okay, honey, we need to have talk. I usually take for granted that I have legs to walk on, eyes to see with, arms I can use to hug my son. Wait, I forget my son. Wow. Oh, wow. Really? Well, I actually don't forget about him, at least not in the physical presence, but I generally remember to pick him up from school and feed him dinner. But as I face the what? Quotidian swings? What the hell is that? Slings and arrows of parenthood. I forget all the time how much he's changed my life for the better, which, yes, children do have a tendency to do that. And yet there are times when maybe not. Gratitude and its sibling appreciation is a mental tool that we use to remind ourselves of the good stuff. It's a lens that helps us to see the things that don't make it onto our list of problems to be solved. It's a spotlight that we shine on the people who give us the good things in life. And it's a bright red paintbrush we apply to otherwise invisible blessings, like clean streets or health or enough food to eat, which those really are blessings. When you stop and realize how many people in this world do not have enough to eat, wow, we really are pretty spoiled, most of us. Gratitude doesn't make problems and threats disappear. No, it doesn't. We can lose our jobs. We can be attacked on the street. We can even get sick. And you know what? I've experienced all of those things. And I remember those harrowing times at unexpected moments where my heart beats faster, my throat constricts, my body wants to hit something or run away, one or the other. But there's nothing to hit and nowhere to run. The threats are indeed real, but at that moment, they exist only in the memory or imagination. I am the threat, and it is me who is wearing myself out with worry. And worry is the biggest waste of time and energy out there, in my humble opinion. It's basically expending your thoughts and your energy towards something that might or might not be. So why worry about it? If you don't know, if it's not a definite right there in your face thing you got to deal with right here, right now, why are you fretting and stewing about it? And I got to admit, I used to. I really don't anymore. It's like either I can do something about it or I can't. Worrying about it one way or t'other really doesn't make it any better. Just makes it worse. So that's when you need to turn on the gratitude. If I do that enough, it suggests the psychological research, gratitude might just become a habit. So what will that mean? It means, according to the research, that I increase my chances of psychologically surviving the hard times. That I stand a chance of being happier in the good times. I'm not ignoring the threats. I'm appreciating the resources and the people that might help me face those threats. See? It is kind of a mindset shift. You know, it's not saying I don't see that guy over there that's doing something bad. It's more of a, I see that guy over there that's doing something bad, and I know that I have a way to deal with that. And then just dealing with it. And that, you know, if you know that you can think yourself through, you know, even if it's very split-second decision making, instead of worrying, oh well. If you're already one of those highly grateful people, you can stop reading the article. Well, I am one of those grateful people. I admit it. I'm happy. I'm tickled shitless when I open my eyes in the morning. It's like, booyah, I woke up. I'm ecstatic that I can get out of bed under my own power. That's just totally cool. I'm even more happy that I can make it to the bathroom without tripping over critters, and I can get the critters outside without them making a mess on the floor. Booyah! The rest of the day is bonus round because I made it through the first few obstacles in my day. So hey, everything else is smooth sailing. Lots of people don't get those opportunities. So, let's see, what are these wonderful things? Number 1, once in a while, highly grateful people, once in a while, they think about death and loss. It happens to everyone, eventually. So did you see that coming? I'm not just being perverse or contemplating endings, really. but it does make you more grateful for the life you currently have. That's according to several studies. For example, when, okay, I'm not going to butcher this name. This young lady and her colleagues asked people to visualize their own deaths. Their gratitude measurably increased. Similarly, when other people and their colleagues asked people to envision the sudden disappearance of their romantic partners from their lives, they became more grateful to their partners. Same thing for imagining that some positive event like a job promotion that never happened. This isn't just theoretical. When you find yourself taking a good thing for granted, try giving it up for a little while. Researchers have found that, they had 55 people eat a piece of chocolate, and then the researchers told some of those people to resist chocolate for a week, and the others to binge on chocolate if they wanted to. And they left a third group to their own devices. And guess who ended up the happiest according to the self-reports? The people who abstained from chocolate. And the ones who were the least happy? The ones who binged on it. Because, if you can just have it all the time, it's kind of like these kids that are always getting their way with shit. They don't truly appreciate what they've got because they're always getting their way anyway, so everything is just handed to them so they don't have to work for anything. How do you be grateful for something if it's just handed to you? If you don't have to somehow or another work for it or earn it, even if it's just in a mindset shift? Grateful people tend to take the time to smell the roses, even if those roses have been freshly fertilized with organic fertilizer. Apparently, savoring positive experiences makes them stickier in your brain, and it increases their benefits to your psyche. And the key is expressing gratitude for the experience. That's one of the ways appreciation and gratitude go hand in hand. You might also consider adding some little ritual to how you experience pleasures of the body. Oh, well. Oh, really? Let's find out how this works. Apparently, there was a study published this year in Psychological Science, or I think last year actually, since this was September of last year. But it was published that it finds that rituals like prayer or even just shaking a sugar packet make people pay more attention to food, and paying more attention makes food taste better. I do know, had an excellent salad last night, and I actually consciously made myself chew slower because I'd thrown some extra fun stuff in there, and it was like I call it a kitchen sink salad. Just whatever I could grab, I threw it in there, and man, just taking your time to actually savor all of the different flavors made the salad more tasty in my mind. So I can kind of get that. This brand of mindfulness makes intuitive sense. But how does it work with the first habit above, which is the one of being grateful? Well, we as humans are astoundingly adaptive creatures, and we will adapt even to the good things. When we do, their subjective value starts to drop. We start to take them for granted. That's the point at which we might give them up for a while, be it chocolate or sex or even something like sunlight. I'm still stuck on sex. And then take the time to really savor them when we allow them back into our lives. Oh, okay, let me have a moment here. That goes for people too. And that goes back to that first habit. You know, if you're taking someone for granted, take a step back and imagine your life without them. Then try savoring their presence, just like you would a rose or a new car or whatever. The point is, absence just may make the heart grow grateful. Number 3, take the good things as gifts, not birthrights. So what's the opposite of gratitude? Entitlement. And oh my goodness, do we have an entitlement society right now? That's the attitude that people owe you something just because you are so very special. Now, I will agree that every individual on this planet is so very special. But that doesn't mean that everybody owes them something. Just because you're special. Because y'all are unique in your own little way. So in all its manifestations, a preoccupation with the self can cause us to forget our benefits and our benefactors, or to feel that we are owed things from others, and therefore have no reason to feel thankful. Why should I be thankful? You owe it to me. Go ahead. Bring me my coffee. Open that door. I want more. Yeah. Instead, we really need to be counting our blessings. Because, if you're not counting your blessings, you won't be able to really understand just how many gifts you've got out there. Because they're not gifts, they're just givens. And there is a difference in that. The antidote to entitlement is to see what we did not create ourselves, what we created, and if by evolution, and if not by evolution, then by God, or if not by God, then by our parents. Likewise, we are never truly self-sufficient, which no, we aren't, not truly. Humans need other people. We need other people to grow food because, somebody else did the seeds that you were able to go purchase those seeds so that you could plant that. I mean, that's just on a basic level right there, just with one instance. We also need help, to heal our injuries. I mean, no one can heal themselves without a little bit, if nothing else, a little bit of encouragement from someone else. You want to sit there in a mountaintop and go, I am free, I am healed, I am this, but you're still lacking interaction of some kind. I know Grammy gets along really good with his little hermit thing going on, but still Grammy interacts. I'm not picking on you, Grammy, but you're about the closest to, being wanting to be a hermit that I can think of, but you're a happy hermit. Humans need other people to grow our food, to heal our injuries. We need love, and for that we need family and partners and friends and pets. And even if it's just one other person that you want to love to hate. Sometimes you need that interaction, that stimulation. So seeing with grateful eyes requires that we see the web of interconnection in which we alternate between being givers and receivers. And the humble person says that life is a gift to be grateful for, not a right to be claimed, which that is something that sadly children these days are being taught. You have rights, and no one should infringe upon your rights. And although I will agree that we all have natural rights, along with that comes a healthy healthy dose of personal responsibility. You gotta, it's, nothing is ever just given to you. Not just flat out, here you go. Have fun. There is responsibility with everything that you acquire. There is responsibility that comes along with it. Too many people they sidestep that responsibility, and it's going to bite them in the ass eventually. Number 4, grateful people are grateful to people, not just things. So, apparently it's great for this author. Or she says it's great for me and to be grateful for sunlight and trees. And let's see. It's like leading me to think about my impact on the environment, because the trees just don't care. That didn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, honey. I must be reading that wrong. So likewise, the sun really doesn't know that I exist, which no, it really doesn't. And it really doesn't give a shit if I exist either. It's a big ball of gas and isn't even aware of its own existence. So this author says, I think the sun is sentient myself. But my gratitude doesn't make it burn any brighter. And yet, I wonder if maybe people are more grateful to the sun. I think everything has sentience. Everything is an interconnected consciousness, so maybe it does. Maybe the sun does know when you go, thank you for being such a wonderful sunny day today. Maybe that's why it gets so warm, because it goes, gets a little puffed up and warms things up just a skosh. I don't know. But that's not true of people. People will glow in gratitude. Oh, well, no, see, there again, people do glow in gratitude. When you tell people thank you for something that they've done for you, you can actually see them light up. So saying thanks to my son might make him happier, and it can strengthen an emotional bond, which, yeah, it does. I've seen it with my kids. Thanking the guy who makes coffee for you in the morning strengthens that social bond. Experiences that heighten meaningful connections with others, like noticing how another person has helped you, acknowledging the effort it took, and savoring how you benefited from it, engage in biological systems for trust and affection, alongside circuits for pleasure and reward. This provides a synergistic and enduring boost to the positive experience. By saying thank you to a person, your brain registers that something good has happened and that you're more richly enmeshed in a meaningful social community. So even if someone is engaged in douchebaggery and you say to them, thank you for that, I truly appreciate your input, your brain really does get more positive about the interaction that you have with that douchebaggery that person put out, even if you're just thankful that now you understand, you can recognize what douchebaggery looks like. You should be thankful for that, because that is a plus on your side. So now you know how to avoid it later. Once you start getting the inkling that this is douchebaggery going on here, I think I will exit the building. Don't put up with it anymore. That's my way of dealing with it, at least. Oh, and here we go. Mental pancakes, where you at, hun? I haven't seen you around for a while. This one's for you, apparently, hun. Grateful people, excuse me, mention pancakes. Go figure. Apparently, grateful people are habitually specific. They don't say, I love you because you're just so wonderfully wonderful you. Instead, the really skilled, grateful person will say, I love you for the pancakes you make when you see I'm hungry and the way you massage my feet after work, even when you're really tired, and how you give me hugs when I'm sad so that I feel better. Okay, yeah, I do understand that now, but I still... Pancakes! Are you listening, hon? Are you out there? Apparently grateful people really like you, hon. The reason for this is pretty simple. It seems that the expression of gratitude feel more authentic when it reveals that the thanker is genuinely paying attention and isn't just going through the motions. The richest thank yous will acknowledge intentions, like the pancakes that you make when you see I'm hungry, and the costs, you massage my feet after work even when you're really tired. And they'll describe the value of benefits received. You give me hugs when I'm sad, so I'll feel better. See, and that's the whole progress thing. I think that's a cool way of looking at it. Pancakes, anyway. Pancakes! And apparently when Amy Gordon and colleagues studied gratitude in couples, they found that spouses signal grateful feelings through more caring and attentive behavior. They ask clarifying questions. They respond to trouble with hugs and to good news with smiles. These gestures, Gordon writes, can have profound effects. And participants who were better listeners during those conversations in the lab had partners who reported feeling more appreciated by them. So remember, gratitude thrives on specificity. And 6, they thank outside the box. So, pancakes, massages, hugs. Is that boring? Most of the examples so far are easy and cliche, but here's who the really tough-minded, grateful person thanks. The boyfriend who dumped her, the homeless person who asked for change, and the boss who laid them off, which those really are blessings. Maybe not initially, but they are blessings. Just differently blessed. We're graduating from basic to advanced gratitude. So pay attention here. It's easy to feel grateful for the good things, but no one feels grateful that he or she has lost a job or a home or good health or has taken a devastating hit on his or her retirement portfolio. In such moments, it's said that gratitude becomes a critical cognitive process, a way of thinking about the world that can help us turn disaster into a stepping stone. So if we're willing to and able to look, we can find reason to feel grateful even to people who have harmed us. We can thank that boyfriend for being brave enough to end a relationship that wasn't working. The homeless person for reminding us of our advantages and our vulnerability. And the boss for forcing us to face new challenges. And, really, when something leaves your life, a lot of times it's making room for something better to come along. If you have that mentality, then something better will come along. But you got to have that mentality. This goes on to say that life is suffering. No amount of positive thinking exercise will change the truth. That's according to Emmons in his Greater Good article, How Gratitude Can Help You Through Hard Times. And he continues, so telling people simply to buck up and count their blessings and remember how much they still have to be grateful for can certainly do much harm. Yeah, it can. processing a life experience through a grateful lens does not mean denying negativity. It's not a form of superficial happyology. Instead, it's a means of realizing the power you have to transform an obstacle into an opportunity. It means reframing a loss into potential gain, recasting a negativity into positive channels for gratitude. That's what's truly fascinating about what grateful people do. So, ooh, that's interesting. I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this with y'all so you can, because I did do a little bit of creative reading on that. Yes, Rob Works, you need Chloe. You two are actually quite awesome to watch you interact. I enjoy that immensely. Hi, IB Don C. Oh, you're going to make a lower offer? Is that on your... And Chalcedony is now known as... Chalcedony is now known as Chalcedony. Ah, that O is back there. Yay! Okay. Let's see. Unbelievable hypocrisy of global governance exposed. Okay, if you're in government, your odds are you're a hypocritical bastard. But that's just, it's a stereotypical thing to just kind of throw out there. But odds are, if you are involved, especially in the selected part of the government, you are a hypocritical bastard. I don't know of two. I actually personally do not know of any that are not hypocritical bastards. So, cool link there, Rob Works. Don't know that I'll go there, but cool link. So, let me put this over here on the Freedoms Network real quick. Oops. And then, where's that? I need my, there it is, my flashy star. Okay. What's this? There was another one in my pocket that I most definitely wanted to get to, and seeing as how we're going there, I think Rob Works actually shared this one. The hemp deception. I just saw the headline and I went, oh, this is one that Flasher Rooney Head might like. From the Trenches, worldreport.com, the hemp deception and the stolen future of the American people. Okay, there's a lot of things that have been stolen from us and a lot of things that have been acquiesced. You know, is it really stolen if we sat there and watched them do it, or actually asked them to do so because we were entirely too apathetic? Is it really stolen then? I'm just curious on that front. Lots of things have been, we just kind of went, oh, but it's for our own good. And so we just let it ride. Why, thank you, Sock. Thank you, sweetheart. And I appreciate you too. You know, everybody, I appreciate Sock. I appreciate Rob. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys that I get to interact with, because I get to learn so much about, not only about you, but about myself with the way I react or interact with y'all. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I get to find out just how little I know sometimes. And that's really very freeing and very comforting for this old broad. I enjoy learning that I don't know near as much as I thought I knew. And, you know, when someone else points it out to me and they do so in a manner that doesn't make me feel like a total tard, because I'm really good at doing that to myself anyway. But, you know, if someone is considerate enough to, you know, help me along and kind of steer me in a direction to where I will find out, yeah, I was a total doofus in believing that shit. Wow, thank you ever so much. Y'all are awesome. You truly are. You people in the RLM chat and on FN, and even the people on World Truth and the people in Corner Pocket, everybody that I've interacted with over the last few years has been an absolute godsend for me, because I have learned so much from all of you guys. You've really, really helped me come into myself more. So I appreciate that immensely, because I really like who I am. And it's because you guys have helped that I got to where I am today. So bless you, bless you, bless you. There's no way I will ever be able to thank you enough. So please know, I really do. When I say at the end of my shows that I love you all, I really do. Because man, oh man, even when you say something and you don't make me feel a way. But when you say something and I take it a certain way to where I'm not exactly a happy camper, I appreciate that, because it makes me examine myself. So, y'all are just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Poor guy climbing to help a cat. Aww. Poor kitty cat. Okay, back to this link. The hemp deception. So, surely no member of the vegetable kingdom has ever been more misunderstood than hemp. For too many years, emotion, not reason, has guided our policy toward this crop. Actually, I think it's greed. Although greed is probably considered an emotion, but I think it's greed and control. That need to control. And nowhere have emotions run hotter than the debate over the distinction between industrial hemp and marijuana. And if you listen to Dr. Pappas, he says they are both cannabis. It's just, it's cannabis, is it cannabis indica and cannabis sativa? They are both cannabis, so, according to him. And he is a chemical biologist or whatever, and he does a lot of testing on essential oils, you know, for purity and that kind of stuff for companies that produce essential oils, even if it's hemp oil. So I tend to lean towards believing what he has to say on some of that. But it's all cannabis. And that's why it's illegal, because cannabis, no matter if it's indica or sativa, it's beneficial, and we can't have that, because then you're not reliant on the American Medical Association, and you're not reliant on the FDA, and you're not reliant on, because you can grow something that grows like a weed. Hey, maybe that's why it's called weed. Whee! Oh well. So when discussing an issue of such political relevance, some might think that emotions and personal feelings would be left at the door. Yeah, right. Yet those individuals clearly do not understand American politics. This particular topic has a long and devious history of waters being muddied by those who stand to gain the most by keeping those waters unclear. Actually, by keeping those waters looking and smelling like sewage is pretty much, that's their goal. So since the first use of the word marijuana and its purposeful muddling with the idea of hemp, in the early 1900s, the average American is only recently beginning to distinguish between the two. Even today, Americans have been conditioned since that time to see first and foremost that marijuana is bad for you because it's from them there Mexicans. Which is, yeah, that's why they called it marijuana. Or flat out wrong. And that hemp is the same as marijuana. That is one of history's biggest misconceptions. And same family, two different, or same, how is that? Same genus? No, same family, two different genus. Is that how that works scientifically? It's been years since I did that in high school. Years. Today, hemp is still absurdly considered a Schedule I substance, even though it usually possesses a useless 0.3% THC, the substance that is considered illegal, whereas typical marijuana has anywhere from 3 to 20%. It is, here it is, it answers for me. It is the same genus or species as marijuana. However, it would be like comparing two types of apples and assuming that they both contain the same sugar content. You know, it's like that. Okay, to me, that would be like comparing crab apples to gala apples. Two completely different critters in my books. Yeah, you can use both of them for making, for cooking, but I would much rather go with the gala than for just eating. Crab apples are not necessarily really good eating, just plain eaten from the tree. That's kind of the way I picture it in my head. So, okay, and see, it goes on to say, when in fact some apples are very tart and not meant to be for individual consumption at all, which, a lot of people say that about Granny Smiths, the green ones. I absolutely love those, but I chop them up and then put salt on them. That's like sitting down watching a movie. That's a snack for me. Kind of weird like that. And there are examples all throughout nature of the same variants. It is first important to understand that hemp in itself is an altogether different animal than marijuana, with many different and extremely beneficial uses to society. At the same time, the two being lumped together allow specific individuals in power to profit on the country's slow decline into fossil fuel dependence and the desired wars that follow, fortifying the need for the military-industrial complex and its massive budget of monopoly money versus the nation's collective rise on the back of an all-encompassing plant that could produce all the same necessities. And was it World War I or World War II where people were required to grow hemp? Or was that even earlier than that? Henry Ford built a hemp car. But, now we can't do that because that does threaten national security. And how does that threaten national security? Because of the petrodollar. The nation will not be secure if the petrodollar collapses. See where that's going? So, there was no mistake in this. It was hemp, not marijuana, that stood to overcome the use of fossil fuels, as well as eclipse the newly manipulated medical industry that would begin an extreme focus in pharmaceutical drugs that were predominantly made using this same fossil fuel reliance. Marijuana and its recreational use were the perfect cover. By criminalizing marijuana and behind the scenes connecting hemp to this criminalization, men in the right position stood to profit greatly with hemp's demise, all while burying humanity's best kept medical, industrial, and nutritional secret, its future. However, those men are gone, and this country is in a different and more intelligent time, with all minds working towards a healthy, independent, and sustainable future, using all possible outlets to secure the nation or the country's green and continuous rise to the proverbial top of the mountain. Right? Have you stopped to think of all of the industries that are built up around these vile, vile things? I mean, when you start looking at all of the dots that are connected just in the fossil fuel industry, all of the interconnected businesses out there. Same with the IRS. If you were to actually get rid of the IRS, stop and really think about all of the businesses that have cropped up to respond to people needing to have someone figure their taxes for them, keep track of their expenses for them. Now, granted, this is all in a monetary system where someone can come up to you and say, simply because I created this position and I consider myself someone that you should be afraid of, I am going to extort 20% of everything that you earned from you. I don't call it extortion, though. I call it taxes. And if you don't do this, there is going to be a threat that I will follow through on. I have all these wonderful buildings with bars on the windows and doors, and people that are armed to the hilt that will not have a problem with causing you harm. See how this works? If you disobey, yeah. They have industry upon industry upon industry built on this. So yeah, it could get real ugly real fast when even just one domino falls. Americans, back to this article, find themselves in a time where hemp is considered illegal by default. But most are comfortable with not knowing or even caring about this topic because most don't know what it means to their daily lives, not to mention their future and that of the planet. Yet, it has grown increasingly more difficult for actions of any nature or lack thereof to go unseen. In other words, the people are beginning to awaken to the stark reality of current circumstances and the lack of action by those in power. Slowly, people are becoming aware of this illogical illegalization of hemp and its foundation of intentionally led misconception for monetary gain. See? All for monetary gain. So, get rid of the monetary system. We really, honestly do not need it. It's a fallacy that we need money. It really is. That's a bullshit story that's been going on since the Sumerian times. So they've been at it for a while. However, a journey of this magnitude must begin with a single step. A step that has been attempted many times before. And to date, 33 states and Puerto Rico have introduced pro-hemp legislation, and 20 have passed some sort of hemp bill. 31 states have defined industrial hemp as distinct and removed barriers to its production. Of those, 15 states had hemp pilot programs or research in 2016. Despite the authority to grow hemp given by the state, or the 2014 federal farm bill allowing more research, all hemp farmers still run the risk of federal raid. And that is where people don't understand, where things have totally gone backwards, because the federal is really, really overstepping its bounds. State is supreme over federal. County is supreme over state. Town is supreme over county. And home, individual, is supposed to have the most control over their life. It is supposed to be at the pyramid of power. The most power is the individual, then the community or family dynamic, however you wish to look at that. Then, okay, so individual, family, community, town, county, area, region of state, and then region, and then federal gets the least little bit trickle. Least little bit. And you know, they say that the federal is at the top of the pyramid, but I prefer to think of it as that pyramid is balancing on a tip. And the federal is just that little bitty tip that the only job it has, it is responsible for maintaining security of the borders when a threat outside the borders arises. It's the only thing federal is supposed to exist for, in my little mind, if you're going to have some kind of system like this. If, which is a really big word for only 2 letters. But the bottom part, that massive platform, which is actually on the top, is the individual's control over their life. And if that individual should screw up or fuck up, because it's about damn time I dropped an F-bomb, and they tip that thing, then it goes on its side, but that individual has to figure out how to right itself again. Pyramids are upside down here, peeps. Federal ain't on the top, it's on the bottom. Back to this article, because I'm going to run out of time. I keep getting sidetracked. Okay, so they run the risk of a federal raid, of prison time, and property or asset forfeiture by the DEA, which they have no right to do that, but we have been bullied, we have been cowed into believing that they do. They are a fictitious entity. They have no rights. Fictions do not have rights. Oh, and this is if they should choose to plant the crop. Because due to federal policy that still does not differentiate between non-drug oilseed and fiber varieties of cannabis from the psychoactive drug varieties. Yeah, it doesn't care. It just says you're planting weed. I have weeds in my yard. I have a shitload of weeds in my yard. You gonna come confiscate the weeds? Come on, bring it. Bring it. They're a bunch of milkweeds, but you can have them. This is similar to the current double standard of marijuana, whereas the vast majority of Americans feel it is not a danger and have since passed state laws allowing its use in some form. Yet federal authorities have fought tooth and nail to maintain its illegality on the federal level so as to keep ultimate control, should they need to, once again, use it to manipulate the populace in some way, which is where I say stop paying attention to them federal bastards. Take away the power. They don't, and the only way you take away the power is to take it back. Take back your personal responsibility, but oh wait, there's that personal responsibility thing again. So, this should be yet another reminder to every American that in this demon crazy, the majority will of the people only holds sway over the decision-making process should its ruling faction feel the need to placate. Otherwise, it's just wishful thinking at best. So, in other words, they allow you to vote so that you can feel as though you are actually making a difference. You are actually making real decisions in your life. We let you go and fill in a little circle, or punch a button, or poke a hole. Cast your ballot. Let them hear your voice so that they can go, there's another one we're ignoring. Silly fools. You really think we'd pay attention to your opinion? That's pretty much the way it works, peeps. Americans need to come to terms with the simple fact that they no longer live in a democratic society. No, and you really don't want to live in a democratic society because that's mob rule. And so taking action within a broken system in hopes that the next candidate will actually follow through with their promises? Okay, if they're part of the system, really, seriously, it's futile and ultimately counterproductive. The dire need for this country, this planet, is to wrestle away the driving force behind the current seat of power and set course for a viable and sustainable future cannot be overstated and is likely beginning to become starkly apparent to the average American. We see it in our collectively declining health. We see it in the alarming loss of life of entire plant and animal species due directly to humanity's practices. We see it in the astounding way in which we knowingly create non-biodegradable products that are designed not to be reused, creating an incontrovertible path to destruction as we literally poison the planet for a few more pieces of paper. Which isn't even really paper, it's cloth. Go figure. We watch as a solution to all these problems is ignored, demonized, and propagandized as, ironically enough, the real problem. That's called distraction and diversion. The smoke and mirrors. The bread and circuses, that it is the whole doings of the political system. That is how they have job security in the first place. We see all of this, yet many do nothing. We see the path laid out in front of us, a simple extrapolation of our current practices and the subsequent conflict, hostility, and animosity, yet somehow manage to look at their shoes and pretend that what they know in their heart is coming is simply a fearful lie with un-American intentions, despite the clear contradiction of logic in that sentiment. Yeah. People just really want to keep those blinders on. They really do, because the government knows best. That fictitious entity, that mass delusion, that will cause mass hysteria if you speak out against it. So, speak out. Some take action, but until those of you who are afraid, and rightly so, because there are so many that will just kind of step aside and be thankful that they're not the ones being singled out. Until you come to understand that choosing to remain quiet and comfortable for now, you are dooming your children and future generations to a life of sickness, struggle, and strife that could have been avoided should the American people have found their voice and declared for the world to hear. We will not stand by as our very future is sold to the highest bidder. And it is. And I gotta clue y'all in. You know, we say that we're destroying the planet, but Mother Earth has been here way longer than we have. And Mother Earth will be here way after we're gone. We are destroying ourselves. And we're probably taking an awful lot of other life forces with us. But Mother Earth will still be here. And she'll create another life force that probably won't be so painful to her, won't be so damaging. It is clear that this country is in decline. And while that's not a welcomed statement to be made, the clear signs of that decline can no longer be denied. The question is, will the American people stand by as our government slowly leads the charge to the planet's very destruction? Which it won't be the planet's destruction. It will be the destruction of humankind and take a few other life forms with it. Or will they find their courage and stand resolute in destruction's path between salvation and destruction, reclaiming that which was taken from them all those years ago? And I really believe that people are starting to stand up. And I think the reason why we're not seeing so much is because there are so many people that also realize that protesting does no good. You know, you can go to a protest march and you can excuse me, hold your fancy schmancy little sign. You can do all of this other fun stuff. But it doesn't do any good. Actually, the only thing it does is paint a bullseye on your back that now they really know who you are. They know who the whiners are. But if you just ignore their sorry ass and you tend to your own business and you don't screw anybody else over, they become irrelevant. And there's an awful lot of people out there that are doing just that. They are just flat ass refusing to play along anymore. And the only way you find that out is by interacting with them, talking with people. So, in any case, you know what? I am just about out of time. Y'all been listening to Grammy's Rocket Chair here on RealLibertyMedia.com, Channel 3. Also on the RLMRadio.xyz site. Thank you ever so much for playing along with me this evening and putting up with me this evening. I know I kind of went in some weird directions this evening, but, you know, sometimes you just plain got to do weird. Sometimes you just plain got to say, "Okay, I've been stuck in a rut. Time to try something different." So I did. Later on this evening will be Grimner with Balls to the Wall. I don't know if JJ's is around or not. It would be awesome if JJ's is around and if he steps in and plays some tunage for us. That would be totally awesome. But if he doesn't, I'm sure there's going to be some replays going on here on RLM. I will be back tomorrow morning with Flasheroony Dork with the Dork Table. And God only knows what we're going to be talking about. I know Flash sent me a little blurb earlier this week to let me know what we were going to be discussing. At least that's what he thought we'd be discussing. But yeah, we rarely do that. Oh, well. Tomorrow afternoon, Kira will be on with The Bridge here on the RLM. And then tomorrow evening will be Bodady with some bodacious tunage. Somewhere in there, JJ's is going to be popping in to play some tunage for you. And if he's not on the RLM, he will be on webcomradio.uk.com. I think that's what that is. I'll have to find that link again. Then on Sunday at noon Eastern Time will be Grimner, and he's going to be playing the blues, leading you into Hal Anthony, who's going to be making you sing the blues, because, yeah, he's going to open up a can of whoop-ass on yo ass, and it's probably not going to be real fun. but it will be real educational, so be sure to tune in. Then, Sunday evening, hopefully, Gary L. and Gigi's Boo, are they back up and running? I'm hoping that they are. With the road less traveled, would be way cool if they are. I will be back next week, Wednesday, with the Wackadoodle Wednesday edition of the Rocket Chair, but next week, Friday, I will not be here. I will have grandchildren. And next Saturday, I will not be doing the dork table either because grandchildren. And got to get my grandbaby fixed. Just putting that out there. So, y'all have an absolutely amazing rest of your evening. I will hopefully catch up with you, chat more with you this evening during Balls to the Wall. And until then, I really, honestly do love you all. And not only do I wish you all enough, but, yeah, I want you all to remember, you are enough. Oh, hey, JJ's is live. Sweet. So, JJ's will be on.